Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. The Canadiens get the 3-2 win over the Chicago Blackhawks. That's 2 wins in a row. They improved to 2-1-0 on the season as a whole. A pretty good game. I mean, there's one pretty glaring issue that I think is pretty evident from this game. That's kind of been the entire season so far. But other than that, like a win is a win. You can't complain too much, even if it's a little bit of a dirty win, you still take the wins. Contributing again to what we've been looking for is a fast start to our season. That's definitely going to help us there. So we had Cole Caulfield gets his first goal of the season to start us off in the second period. Bolduc gets the assist. He's been fantastic so far, like MVP of the team through 3 games, just absolutely incredible so far. He gets the second goal for the Canadiens later on. Cole Caulfield had a nice little, he batted that one out of the air. The Canadiens kind of shouted out the Brewers on that one, so that was pretty cool. Go Brewers! They got the win today over the Cubs, so that was exciting as well. A nice hand-eye move from Cole to get that one to go, and thank God for that, because as I'll talk about, the power play absolutely needs to change. The special teams are just brutal for the Canadiens. I mean, the penalty kill is fine, but the power play, I just don't understand why you're not taking potentially your most offensively skilled forward and putting him on the second power play unit. That just doesn't really make any sense to me. And then, Line A, I feel like they proved enough to say, hey, maybe they should be on the first unit, but I don't know. So I think especially after this game, they had literally 10 power plays and scored on 2 of them. It's never good when you have enough power plays and not enough goal scoring where you can be 20% on a power play in a game. But so I think after this they'll probably be able to say, hey, maybe we can switch that up a little bit, make it a little bit better, but we'll see. Cole, nice goal there. Bolduc, Suzuki with the assists, so that's good for those guys. Rinzel gets one back for the Hawks later on. They kind of just let Rinzel just walk right in. I mean, I know it was his first career goal, which also, the Canadiens are just the best at letting players score their first ever goal on us for whatever reason. So that's always exciting. But they kind of just let him walk right in on goal there. He just took a shot. Literally nobody pressed him until right at the last second. So they just let him kind of just walk in and score on us. So not great. Not going to blame Montembeault on that one, but you would like to maybe put a stick in front of that shot a little bit sooner, but oh well. Bolduc gets another one on the power play. Caulfield kind of gets it kind of in that behind the net, kind of on the goal line spot. He's trying to get a backhand pass over to Slafkovsky, but it gets picked off, and then Bolduc's able to find the loose puck in front of the net. He'll bury that one. That's his 3rd goal of the season, arguably 4th. They ended up giving that second goal against the Red Wings to Carrier instead. I feel like Bolduc got a tip on that one. It should have been his goal, but whatever, either way, he's got 3 goals. He's got a goal in every game this season, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, I wasn't sure how he's going to perform based off of how he looked in the preseason and all of that, but man, he has been absolutely incredible for us. Absolutely the star of the show in Montreal so far. So I mean, I titled the last video, "Anybody miss Mayu?" And I think that's still true. I mean, just what a trade by Kent Hughes there to get a guy, and he's just absolutely going off with the Canadiens. So it's really awesome to see that. We'll see how that progresses, but definitely a highlight of our power play and of the season so far is the way that he's been playing. Caulfield and Suzuki get the assist there, so Suzuki up to 4 assists on the season. Caulfield gets a second one there, so pretty good. I mean, our first line heating up a little bit. Slav, not on the score sheet today, but he thought he had another really nice game, really nice chances. I'm really encouraged by the way that he's playing so far this season, and I think he keeps playing the way he's playing. The numbers are going to keep coming for him, so I'm looking forward to that. I love Caulfield getting his first goal. I think that's what he needs to kind of get going. The other guy I would want to see is I hope Demidov is able to get another one. He looked great today. Overall, he had a couple really nice chances, a really nice back check. I don't remember when that was in the game, but he was able to just kind of like turn on a second gear and just track down the Chicago player who was like in on a breakaway, put the body on him, get him away, and then Dobson was able to turn it around and head back up ice. So that was really impressive. That's not really something we've seen a whole lot from Demidov, like his defensive game and all that kind of stuff. But that was really encouraging to see out of Demidov there. He had some great offensive chances throughout the game. I think we're just kind of he just needs to keep going. I personally think he needs to be on the first power play. I don't really understand why he's not. I genuinely. I'll talk about this in a bit, but I think he needs to be on the first power play. Connor Bedard gets a goal on the power play by literally doing nothing. Nazar took a one-timer from a cross-crease pass, and it basically Bedard just happened to be standing at the side of the net and went off of his pants and in. So what are you going to do about that one? That's tough. Montembeault, not his fault. There were a lot of penalties in this game both ways, so I mean it's tough for the kill as well. But yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. It's just like we got to be able to score on more of our power play so that that kind of a goal in that situation doesn't become a game tying goal. Maybe we'd have a couple more goals at that point, considering all of the power play opportunities we've had. But oh well, But yeah, that's kind of how that's the second period is where all of those goals came from, and then tight chances both ways, a lot of good opportunities, and then obviously right at the end of the game, it's just an absolute scramble in the last couple seconds, just everybody taking shots. Hudson had a shot, Suzuki I think tried to shoot one in tight from the goal line. He just kind of shot it right across the crease. Caulfield had an opportunity, and then Suzuki gave it back up to Caden Gooley. He was able to kind of take a knuckleball one-timer from the point, and it just found its way in off of somebody. It looked like it was Slav, but they're giving it to Caden Gooley. So I think it was Rinzel who it went off of there. So that was a really exciting way to end the game. With 15 seconds left, Gooley gets the goal. And that is absolutely huge for us to get a regulation win there. Get a win, not have to go to overtime. Get the 2 points. And a nice goal for Caden Gooley too. It's nice to see us push to the end of the game there, and a guy like Caden Gooley to get that goal. It's a big goal for him. We saw big goals out of him. The last regular season game last year. So we. It's good to see him, continuing to put pucks on net, that kind of stuff. So that was pretty good. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't a pretty game. We literally had 10 power plays. Chicago had 14 total penalties, and we only scored twice on the power play. So I think that's kind of the story of the game is we got the win, but I think Martin St. Louis needs to get back to the drawing board on the power play and who's going to be on there. If it were me, I think I said this previous to the season beginning, if it were me, I'd have Hudson up top. I'd have Caulfield in the middle, Bolduc also in the middle, Caulfield kind of, right in front, something like that, Bolduc in there, and then Laine and Demidov on the wings. But yeah, I think they're just going to have to figure out what works chemistry-wise. I think that's kind of the tough thing about the lineup we have. We have so many, capable players in terms of being able to play special teams. So I think it's just a matter of trying to find a way to find a group of 5 that it's going to work for our first power play unit, and get those guys going. But again, it's game 3, so I understand that it's not always going to be perfect right away, but yeah, you would just like to see us maybe capitalize on opportunities, especially since we're playing a team that's projected to be kind of at the bottom of the league, and we have 10 power play opportunities literally. So yeah, I think that's kind of the way it is. But yeah, I think they'll get it together, but I think it might be a good idea to kind of just mix up the lines a little bit. So I don't know. I'm not the coach, but that's what I would do. But Other than that, I mean, like I'm really enjoying how the Habs are playing so far this season. 3 games in, I think they deserve to get a win against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and just pucks didn't go their way. And then they keep battling. They get 2 more wins against 2 teams that they certainly can beat and did. So that's exciting for us to be 2-1-0. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Obviously, the standings mean literally nothing at this point in the season, but it's good to see us kind of near the top instead of down at the bottom, kind of where we were last year at this time. Like not winning very many games early on in the season. So I think it's good for the players too, the morale, the confidence, that kind of stuff, to get some wins under your belt. Montembeault and Dobesh both have a win through 3 games, so that is exciting for them, and it's a confidence boosting thing. I think it'll be good for them to just have that confidence that they know that they can make saves when it matters, all that kind of stuff. So I think, yes, overall a great game. A little bit dirty, a little bit not exactly what we wanted to see, but we got the win, and that's all that matters. We move on. Our next game is against the Seattle Kraken on Tuesday. So that'll be an interesting one. It's the home opener, so hopefully that'll be good. I know, like, the one thing that's kind of been interesting is Hudson not necessarily playing, like a superstar like we'd like him to be, and obviously, like, it's only a couple games. It's not a crazy thing, but like I'm starting to think of maybe the whole contract thing is weighing on him, and just the uncertainty of that. I know, like, if I were in that position as a professional player, and I knew that like my contract situation was like kind of in the balance, and like all the news online like going every which way, which I'm sure like most of it isn't true. Like, I don't know. I know I might feel a little bit like uneasy about it, but I don't know. I think there was reports yesterday, I believe, on Friday, saying that like a contract for Hudson might be in the works, but some people are saying that it might be like coming soon. Some people are saying that it's not close. So I really don't know anything about what's going on there. I just it would be nice to have that kind of like tucked away so that we can just focus on playing hockey, all that kind of stuff. But it'll happen. It'll come, but and if it's 3 games, it's he'll get there, and some other guys like Line A. I wonder, when I look at Line A, like he's playing a solid game. I think like he's got his chances and stuff, especially on the power play and stuff. I just wonder, given like what we know about his confidence and that kind of stuff, like it's like being on the 4th line is it kind of like not the greatest for his confidence level, and if that's going to affect his game at all. But I don't know. I think all speculation, all early in the season kind of stuff, and we're winning games, and that's the important thing now. I think all the players on the team are going to have their time to kind of build their confidence and stuff. And I think generally speaking, when the team wins, everybody feels good, and I think that's a good place for us to be in right now. So I'm pretty happy with the way that we're playing right now, and I'm looking forward to the next game. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. 2-1-0, we're playing pretty well, looking pretty good. Home opener coming up, so that'll be really exciting. We'll get the Coldplay going, and hopefully get a win on home ice to start the year. It should be interesting to see if there's any lineup changes that happen for the next game. If Struble maybe gets a nod. I know Jack Eye's been in for the last 3 games, so and he's looked pretty solid too. I think the entire defenses look really solid the entire season so far. So it'll be interesting to see if that changes at all. But I think like our top 4 guys have all looked really solid. Obviously, Gooley getting the goal today. Dobson hasn't really been on the score sheet, but he looks really solid in like the small areas of the game. And I think that's an underrated part of a defenseman, is just like being able to kind of control the game like that. You don't really see it on the score sheet, but the way that he's able to kind of just take control and like calm things down, especially on the penalty kill, like it's a huge addition to our team. So like, yeah, our defense overall looks really solid. I just know, like, I know Struble looked really solid too, like in the games that he's played, like preseason and last year as well. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets a nod to see how he can do. I mean, obviously, it's probably going to be Jack Eye. That's the one that swaps out with him. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he gets a play and if that works out. But I don't really see any other lineup changes in terms of like 5v5 lines. But I would honestly expect a power play change coming between now and Tuesday. So, but yeah, we'll just have to see if that's the case. But yeah, for now, that's kind of all I've got. That's all the speculation I can muster. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you for the home opener on Tuesday.